Welcome to the Manifesting Millions podcast. I am your host, Rashida McFerrin, and in this episode, we are going to be talking about 4 habits that are keeping you broke. One of the things that I've noticed in regards to being in the time frame that we're in, it's 2024. Millennials, we're hitting our 40s. Our parents should have been retired, honey. I know my mom at least has been retired since 2012. What's circling back around for me is when I'm having conversations with peers and they're asking me basic questions about stuff we should have learned about finance, like in our 20s. Well, I know I learned it because I was working in a bank. Okay. And then I had certified training as far as being in finance. And even if I wasn't in banking, I still would have taken additional steps to learn how to use money in an effective way. Some of my observations in regards to stuff that's keeping our generation broke, especially with social media. Doing it for the gram, honey. Trying to prove to people that you're living a lavish life. It seems to be the norm for our generation to just have that expectation that you've been balling since you were like 20. I remember when I was graduating from college and I just knew that I was going straight into making 6 figures. It had never dawned on me that I didn't know how. I just had entitlement that I was supposed to be given a 6 figure job because I had gone to college. What my 6 figure job at? And my mom put it very clearly and brought me back down to earth real quick. You didn't major in a job that creates 6 figure salary straight out from undergrad. I didn't think about that while I was going through my major. So let me go back to the drawing board and figure out how I'm going to chart my path to getting to 6 figures. It took me 6 to 7 years to get there because I had to go and learn the skills that I needed in order to start making 6 figures a year. Some of the things that keep us broke, chasing trends, honey, like I just said, doing it for the gram. You spending all your money on the latest this and that. Back in the old days, well, my mom and them, they used to call it keeping up with the Joneses. I don't know who the Joneses are. I don't care who they are because I keep up with myself. Hello. Real talk. People will copy you and start repeating stuff that they see you acquiring because they think that they're in competition with you. Little do you know, no matter where I live, no matter where my address is or who is in my circle, I'm never in competition with anybody other than up-leveling my life to the level that I'm trying to go, period. So I don't care what you drive. I don't care where you live. I don't care what's in your home. I'm not trying to pay attention to every single thing that you're doing because I am in my own universe, period. When they say there's levels to this, oh, honey, there's levels to it. And I don't go chasing trends just to prove to somebody that I probably don't like anyway that I'm that girl. I don't care if you think I'm that girl. You know what I care about? If I'm going to drive what they consider a luxury car here in America, a Mercedes, a BMW, a Bentley, a Porsche, there's debate on how you say that. What I care about is that I own the asset and that I ain't paying somebody $1,000 a month for a dangum car note. Hello. Can we talk about that right there? We have people in our gen because they are so in love with living a quote unquote luxurious life that they are willing to pay $1,000 a month. And that's minimum to drive a car. Child, bye. Look here. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. That is that right there, period. Like, yeah, that's what I'm not going to do. Right? Period. I know. When I go out and if I'm buying a luxury car, you best believe I'm paying cash for it. Or you best believe that it's an experiment. I'm paying half down and getting a little car note that's like $100 a month so I can have it reporting to my credit because I need another credit line to keep building my credit. I'm not over here just jumping and going to car lots every time you turn around. Yeah, can I get this? Oh, I feel like having this car today. Oh, let me go spend 50 and 70 and $80,000 on this car. Mm-mm. I ain't doing it. No. Chasing trends, that's number one, will keep you broke, i.e., keeping up with the Joneses. And again, we still don't know who them Joneses are. Joneses, y'all. Can y'all give me like an actual factual name of where that quote came from? So, yeah, that's what's keeping you broke. Number two, ignoring your budget. Do you have a budget? You should. Everybody has, or at least a financial framework that you operate in on a monthly, weekly, daily basis that correlates with your expenses. Are you irresponsible in your 40s, right? I think the kids from 1984 are turning 40 this year too. Okay, so do you have more than $10,000 saved in the bank? Let me just pose some questions to y'all. Do you have a cash reserve fund that if something were to happen in life, that you have at least expenses saved up for a year? Notice I didn't say 6 months. I think what's his name? Dave Ramsey teaches 6 months or something. Yeah, I tried to do the Dave Ramsey concepts when I was like 24, and I remember he had me pulling money out of envelopes and stuff. Yeah, that didn't last a week. Okay, he's like a baby boomer. Why are you teaching millennials baby boomer tactics in the early 2000s? How is that working? Yeah, that's going to be a no for me. I got rid of the envelope system real quick. I also am one of those people who don't necessarily tell you credit card debt is bad or debt is bad. I am not one of those people. I am a banker. Hello. Our business is built off of finance. There is a way for you to utilize debt to your advantage so that you can continue to build wealth. Guarantee you they ain't tell you that one. But all you hear is people constantly talking about all this debt being the enemy and evil and the devil and some more stuff. Yeah, shut up. That is not true. What's true is the way you use your debt is the enemy. If you don't know how to effectively use it and pay it off, emphasis on the pay it off part because that is what you're supposed to do with it. So if you don't have a financial framework in place, if you don't have a cash reserves fund in place, then it's time for you to take a mean hard look at your finances and your life, especially if you the part of the millennial groups that have crossed over into our 40s. Because at this point in the game, ain't no excuse for you not to know how to manage your finances. Period. There's no excuse for you not to have a cash reserve. And when I say cash reserves, the common term would be savings, I guess. There's no excuse for you not to have a certain amount of savings in your bank account that you can pull on just in case something happens. Like, what if someone had a car accident and they only had one car and then they needed to go and buy a cash car? Do you have $5,000 or $10,000 that you could pull out of a bank account that you can go pay cash for a car? I'm not talking about taking $10,000 out of the account. Now you broke and you ain't got no money. Yeah, that's a no. And if you taking $10,000 out of the account and now you broke, your account is zero and you just bought a car because you wrecked your other car, again, you need to go back to the financial drawing board and redraw some frameworks and some plans because it ain't it. The money ain't money. That's number two. Number three kind of hints to what number two, neglecting building up a cash reserve fund. I do not call it an emergency fund because what happens with your language? We speak what? We speak things into existence. And so if I'm sitting here calling something an emergency fund, I am putting out into the universe that there will in fact be an emergency at some point so that I need to prepare for the fact that I know an emergency is coming. I call it a cash reserve fund. Got that from my first year in banking school, learned it very quickly. Because you specifically should be putting money aside as you have income flowing in. You should be allocating funds to go to your cash reserve fund so that it builds up over time. So that's just reserves sitting there in case it needs to be used one day. And hey, if you don't end up using it and it builds up over time and you want to move some money from that place and place it into some investments, by all means do so. That's kind of the point eventually. But you have to be in the habit of building up assets. Being money too, cash reserve assets on hand so that you can be able to pull on it when you need it. Number 4, living beyond our means. Oh, we got that one bad in this jam. If you have the money to be able to afford the lifestyle that you're living and you are doing well with yourself and your family, by all means, all power to you, keep going. But living beyond your means when you don't need to be, let me give you an example what living beyond our means during this modern day time looks like. Since I mentioned we do it for the gram, everybody is a digital nomad person now. Everybody swears that they traveling and making 6 figures from traveling and that like they live in this laptop lifestyle. Some folks ain't even living the laptop lifestyle. Some folks just flat out done quit working and just decided to travel around the world because they done figured out some way how to pimp the system. More power to you if you can figure out how to sustain yourself in that fashion. What we not gonna do? So let me tell you what we're not gonna do. I was telling my stylist this the other day. What we not gonna do is randomly just overnight pull the rug from under our decent life that we built and just randomly go off to Southeast Asia in search of a more meaningful life. And then you get to East Asia or wherever it is that you go, Australia, and then you just do the same thing there that you were doing here. Just to say in your IG bio or your TikTok bio that you're a digital nomad. Are you making money doing that? Is anybody sponsoring you for your posts? Are you at least getting paid on social media? Are you getting any type of monetary value from trekking off and traveling the world? And now people will tell you, yeah, no, it's about the experience. Well, I'm here to tell you from my experience, I need to be compensated adequately before I go trekking around the world and putting stuff on my socials and my website and speaking about it from my brand. Yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. There's this one girl in the area I knew. She had probably been in her house a year and she just decides that all of a sudden she was moving to where was she moving to? Was it Malaysia? And I'm like, have you ever even been to the country? That's another thing that y'all are for real deal going off trekking to these countries. Are you even checking if they're on like our no visit list? Because how about put safety first? Some of these countries are so cheap because they're third world countries. You go over there, you might not come back. But I'm just saying, millennials and Gen Z aren't thinking. It's like, they're just like, throw caution to the wind, free. Yay. Okay. I'm planning to do some traveling after my son goes to college. Yeah, but I've been planning it since he was a little kid. I didn't just wake up one day and was like, I'm going to be a digital nomad, check out my content and hope somebody clicks and likes and maybe somebody comes across a post that they're just going to mysteriously pay me for. Let me give you some advice. When everybody is doing it, that means it's not in demand anymore. So what is it about your content that's going to make you different from the other millions of people that are posting content on a daily basis? What's different? Look, the number of shirtless dudes and bikini girls online all talking about they Instagram models and TikTok models and stuff. Child, get in line. You know what makes you valuable now in this social media tech world that we're in? You not taking your clothes off. How about that on a camera? That's sad. I think that's sad. I really do. Like, where are our values going when it's almost expected the norm for a dude to just take his shirt off and be in swim trunks. And that is his profile pic or whatever social media he's on. For me, it's so cringe. Probably because of the fact that like I was always raised to be a lady, and I'm not saying that I won't put on a bathing suit and take pictures. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when did it become the standard for us to just show everything that we have in order to get someone's attention? Especially to the young women and ladies. The amount of BBLs and stuff that you come across on these sites, it's like, I don't know no more. I don't know. I don't think y'all are actually thinking about the long term effects of what you're doing to your body when you're young. But, and I say more power to you. If you like it, I love it. But I'm just saying, if you see dudes stating, I prefer a woman with all her natural body parts, that's the issue. But anyway, so that what was that? That was tied to living beyond our means and making irrational decisions and throwing caution to the wind just to say, just to snap a pic and say I did it. It's really not that serious. But for some people it is. But for me, who hasn't been active on social media in almost 10, the good part of 10 to 11 years, I got active back on social media when I started building my brand for my business. It had started to take up so much time that, like around 2013, I would stay deactivated probably 75 to 80% of the time on my socials. Now I have to be on because it is a part of the business culture. So that's a different vibe. That's a different energy. I'm not getting on there to like turn around and show somebody my butt. That's neither here nor there. I'm gonna end on that. That's number 4. So living beyond your means. I'm like, there are okay, one more. There are girlies who are for real deal going to other countries to have plastic surgery done. Like, that's how vain. You're living beyond your means. If you can't afford a procedure that you want to have done in your state or within your country, maybe you should think about the fact that you don't necessarily need it done and how you're trying to look isn't that necessarily important at this time and frame of your journey. If you can afford it, more power to you. But if you can't afford it and you're doing all the things just to look a certain way, you have to step back and ask the question, is this really going to give me the result that I'm wanting from it? Is it? Because I done seen a couple of instances where it didn't get the result that the person was looking for, and it just sent them spiraling down a completely different path. Living beyond your means is something that we really need to look at in our culture as millennials and Gen Z, and specifically millennials, Gen Z, as Gen Z, they're looking up to us for guidance and direction. I'm hoping that we're giving them direction down the right path opposed to the latter. But anyway, I'm thinking about actually putting together a little freebie for this episode for habits that are keeping you broke and keeping you from making your millions. As always, I think that's it for the episode. You can catch me on Rashida.ai, or you can catch me on Rashida McFerrin. I am on TikTok and Instagram. If you have enjoyed this episode, thank you for taking time to listen. Please give us a 5-star review, as that helps get our listenership up and pushed out to more people. And until then, I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.